Amazing. Gentlemen, Woody and Nigel, how are you feeling?
Awesome.
Exhausted, exhilarated, relieved, all three?
All those things, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I look around this room and I see a lot of people that I love who work really hard, and so that makes me feel pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah. And you have just hightailed it here from Waterloo Bridge, which is where you just finished the film. And once it was in the can, once it was done, what was the first thing that went through your head?
Love for Woody.
Yeah.
Love for Woody Harrelson and all these people here.
Amazing cast.
Amazing people. They all should be up here.
This is an extraordinary achievement. So you had something like 14 locations tonight. You had how many cast members? 30 cast members?
Yeah.
How many crew?
24 locations.
24. Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, there were 300 people in the crew, a lot of whom I'm looking at here in this room.
And this all came from an idea you had to write this script a couple of years ago. Is that how did this movie come about?
Yeah,
how did this idea to do it live come about?
Thought of it a few years back. You know, what do they say? Time plus.
Waits for no one.
Tragedy plus time. Yeah.
Huh?
Tragedy plus time equals comedy.
Tragedy plus time equals comedy. So I guess after the fact, I started thinking, even though it was a night I really didn't enjoy, I thought this could be funny, and so started tinkering around with an idea, writing and stuff, and then slowly it started to develop, and then the concept of the live thing came because I wanted to film it first of all in real time, and because it does happen kind of sequentially, and then I thought, that would be merging theater and film, and then I thought, well, how's that theater if there's no live audience?
Okay, yeah.
And so got the concept of trying to live stream it, and I didn't, I knew I found out it hadn't been done, but I also found out there was a million obstacles, and so the reason why it hadn't been done is because it's quite difficult, And the first person that I called to be a part of the cast was Nigel Willoughby, and I was really so hoping he would do it because I was a big fan of his, from the first time I saw Magdalene Sisters years ago. And I called him up then, many years ago, saying how great he is.
15 years ago.
He's really a great DP, and he's a true artist. And when he said he'd do it, that was great. Then I talked to my buddy Ken Cowell, the other producer, and Ken Cowell said he'd do it, and it just all developed.
Wow. So, Nigel, can you talk us through the technical challenges of tonight? We have all these locations, all these different actors. You have one shot, one camera operator. How the hell did you do it?
Well, I had many sleepless nights.
It's a lot of many.
I think that John Hember, our camera operator, should come up here actually.
Please welcome John Hembrough. Welcome. I say John.
This man's dedication and expertise beyond belief.
I'm going to drag up the piano stool here. John, you must be exhausted. How do you feel?
Shell-shocked, really.
Yeah?
I think, rather than exhausted.
Okay.
Yeah, it was strange. Yeah, it was. After a while, I just didn't think about it. Previously in the rehearsals, okay, I must go here, I must go here, I must go here. And this one, I don't know, it seemed to flow really well.
Yeah,
it seemed to flow really
amazing.
well, and that got me a bit scared because I thought I'm not thinking about it enough. I'm not thinking about it enough. Hopefully, it was all kind of muscle memory and.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know.
John hasn't had a drink for 5 weeks.
I've got one back there.
He has just had
One back there.
pints of blonde.
He's going to have
Still-
all the drink in a few minutes. How much rehearsal did you guys do to block this out, to have the camera moves? There's so many intricate little moments. The moment in the restaurant where you have people falling over. How difficult
We
was it to
started
plan that?
rehearsals about 5 weeks ago with a little tiny video cam that John and I had, and about a week in, Woody said, "Is that the camera we're shooting with?" And I went, yeah, that's it. And he went, "That's really small. Is that going to shoot 2K?" I went, that's 4K, Woody." And he went, "Wow, man, that's amazing." But anyway, about 4 weeks of rehearsals.
4 weeks of rehearsals. Wow.
Meticulous.
Yeah.
And blocking the scenes out, and every day we'd get a scene blocked, and John would rehearse it, and then the next morning Woody would come in and say, no, we got to do it again. And that went on up until this evening, about 4 o'clock, and I told him, "No more directing. Let's just go and shoot it and you act." And that's what happened.
Is this true, Woody? Did you change anything today?
Oh yeah. I mean, I had quite a number of notes. I think that was like, what was that, 10 o'clock? And I gotta say, you incorporated every note. And John, I gotta say, John really, a Herculean effort to be able to do what he did. It's unbelievable. Yeah.
I knew when I wasn't doing it right because I got a couple of little kicks. So that
last time in the van, you thought I was kicking you to come back, and I was actually trying to support you.
Am I meant to be there longer, or?
No, that's what happened. I noticed you went back.
Yeah.
I was trying to support your leg because he was going so fast around the corners, and you took it as anyway.
Were there,
That's between us.
were there any hairy moments tonight? Any moments where it might not have worked out?
I don't know. I mean, for me, this was the smoothest run we've had. But
It'll be all right tonight.
Yeah, it's always in the back of my mind that I don't want to be the one that's going to mess this up now, so I guess they were all hairy moments, really.
We have some questions from people who've been watching the film and participating across London and America. So Sarah BHS on Twitter asks, what was the most challenging part about the whole filming experience?
You mean just filming it tonight, or just generally?
Let's go tonight.
Well, we did have a moment where we there was a real snafu in one of the scenes, and that was that was pretty challenging.
Okay.
Yeah, it was in the phone call.
Oh, okay.
Unfortunately, because we've overworked him so much, Peter left the scene of the cell block. He's supposed to come into that phone call, and he just kind of blanked, and so me and Martin are just standing there trying to riff around the phone. I honestly, I'm curious how conspicuous it was. I feel like it was pretty conspicuous.
Nobody knows.
Yeah.
No?
Nobody knows.
Oh, it's here.
Fine.
Oh, it's here.
Okay, all right. There
So we
go.
actually have the scene.
That's good.
We can see it right there.
Yeah, hi. Sorry.
And here he comes.
Yeah,
there we go.
can you ring the room again? That seemed like about 3
Yeah, just ring it one more time.
That was really only a matter of seconds. That's bizarre.
I honestly didn't notice.
Martin, where's Martin? I don't know.
Yeah, there's Martin there.
Martin, did you feel like that was like 5 minutes we were there? That's unbelievable. Okay, I have to grant full forgiveness to Peter for that. That was only a few seconds. Really. But boy, those were some painful segments. Yeah, so here's Martin did a great job with Patty.
Come on, Martin. Come on. Take my stool. There you go. Yeah, we can share. We can budge up. So how was that, the experience, those few seconds? It just seemed like a few seconds I was watching it, but to you it must have been an eternity.
Oh, that scene that we just witnessed,
Yeah.
I just was looking at Woody and I thought, oh, that's the film done. I was so close to just going, dude, I can't, I'm off. I just went there. But in fairness to Peter, he just blacked out for a second, but it was not a big deal at all. I'm so thankful for that. And if you're listening, Peter, it was not a big deal. Everything was okay.
I'm worried Peter commit
Suicide somewhere. I know. He really does actually need to hear that.
He's
Somebody
upstairs.
go and tell him because he felt really bad about it.
He's upstairs.
Back in here.
We'll get him. Martin, while you're here, I have to ask, was that really Bono?
Yes, that was really Bono.
Really Bono? Wow, that is amazing. Live. Bono live.
No.
Oh, he was pre-recorded.
That was pre-recorded.
He was pre-recorded and you were reacting to Bono.
At 3 o'clock.
I was wondering because give Bono a shout at 3 in the morning.
No, in fact, I got to give great credit to Bono because it was his idea to do the whole reggae thing.
Okay.
You know, the conversation wasn't nearly as funny, and he had this whole idea about doing reggae, and he basically wrote all that stuff about Iron, you know, it's good vibration all across the nation. So funny, man. Just great.
That's amazing. And did you know that Martin once played Bono?
Yeah, I did. I told him that, and
Yeah.
he said because I played him in when he was in the 80s,
Yeah.
and he said to his fellow band members, he said, I never sounded like that. But in the 80s, he tried to sound American, and I say that now. He did. He tried to sound American, but as he got older, he sounded more Irish.
Happens us all. So we have a question here from Eric in Nashville. Woody, how long did it take you to write the screenplay?
Well, I mean, we just finished writing it just before we started. It never stopped. We didn't. Me and Eleanor, who plays Laura, we just put in some new stuff. Me and Owen put in new stuff. I'm surprised. Where is Owen? Is he here? Owen, come on up, dude. Yeah, come on up, dude.
I'll give him this.
Don't be
Step
shy.
down.
Oh, we'll see Owen, dude. Yeah. Oh, we'll see. Cheers. All I need is one sheet.
You alright there?
Yeah.
Owen, how was that?
Well, it was pretty thrilling. I've never done theater, and it was really exciting. I was kind of saying to Woody, I was really had a lot of anxiety about kind of doing it like a couple of weeks ago, but we kind of practiced and then to kind of do it last night a couple times and tonight, and I was really happy to be a part of it, and maybe I need to start doing theater.
West End, dude.
So Woody told me yesterday actually that you were instrumental in telling him to do it live. That you were almost on the verge of
Yeah, I was gonna do it live, and then I was like, the obstacles were insurmountable. I was like, I'm not doing it live, and he's like, man, that was a good idea. This is my impersonation.
Is this true, Owen? Were you instrumental?
I don't know about instrumental. I was pushing for live. I guess I was kind of saying that. It is a very sort of radical thing, and and it was inspiring to me, kind of what you pulled off. If we're going to get into some log rolling here, I thought it was amazing what Woody did, and creatively, and I was just saying to Laura, just very kind of brave, inspiring thing.
It's amazing. And you actually had a fight scene right here in this set, and I love the little sleight of hand where you have the blood in your face, and the camera just holds on you long enough for people to get at the end.
the squibs on your nose, I guess. That must have been a lot of fun shooting that.
What do they call that? It's called like in filming like a cowboy switch or something where they do that. I think where you sort of roll out frame and come up kind of. But yeah, they. Are you asking me about how they did the blood?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I get knocked down and the camera stays up and. It's not that exciting. We're telling him like it's
exciting
you know,
in the
like
context of life.
Transformers. Like this is one of our big action sequences. The way I got blood on my nose.
That's a major effect in this, believe me.
We gotta take the effect we can get.
We have another question from this is Carson S, who emailed in to say, how close is the movie to the actual events that occurred, Woody?
Well, that's a very good question. I think that the answer to that is, well, you know, the slug line on this whole deal is too much of this is true. So it's better for people to just use their imagination. What happened, what didn't happen, but a lot did happen.
Okay. Paul Glover asks on Twitter, what type of camera, what type of microphone did you trust to pull this off? Nigel?
Camera was an Arri Alexa Mini. I had no idea about the microphone. I think there were about 150 microphones dotted around places, but you would have to ask Tim Fraser, who was in charge of the sound, amazingly.
You know, speaking of what they accomplished, there were 24 sound people.
24,
and,
wow.
And if you talk to them, which I did, they say every one of them, they worked like Olympics, marathons, things like that, and they're like, this is by far the hardest, most complex job they've had, because it's unbelievable. And there was not too distant past where I thought it's just not going to work for sound, you know, actually 2 days ago.
All worked out well. Ahmed emailed in to ask, do you think Hollywood will adapt to doing this, knowing the risks attached and the possibility of not making money if something goes wrong?
Wouldn't have the bottle.
I mean, I don't know, if someone was thinking of doing it, all they'd need to do is talk to me and I would talk them out of it. Unless I didn't like it.
Emmer B asks...
Ken, you should get over here. Here. You were the producer. Come on.
Here's
You
Ken.
go.
Come on, just sit
Talk about
here.
revolving piano stool, and no one's left us.
Owen used
Owen's
that
left
up.
us.
Yeah,
He's doing
yeah.
it. He saw his chance and he took it. Ken.
And John Hempel.
And John's gone as well.
He's ballsy.
Woody, you stay here. Ken, how did you mount this? I mean, how did you do this?
Use your microphone, Ken.
I feel like this experience perfectly encapsulates me and Woody's friendship. You know, I mean, we've been basically brothers for the better part of the last 10 years. And, you know, you kind of just fly by the seat of your pants and, you know, like shift as the wind goes with this, you know. I think like it's been like an incredible experience just to shift and, you know, progress the art form. I mean, it's been, you just got to stay nimble and adapt to every single situation, you know, which is exactly what we do.
And how much did you adapt to the resources that you had? We have this incredible building here in central London, and a lot of the sets are here. But you also have a lot of locations, so just around the corner. Did you have to rewrite to adapt to what you had?
Yeah, you know, would like to have more iconic images. You know, there's a lot of great images in London, but we had to be all within this area, so that kind of confined where we could be. But talk about adapting. I mean, there's a lot of adapting went on. Like earlier this evening, I'm just getting ready to take a nap because I was, you know, I still haven't adapted tonight. And then I hear, I forget who was it was Tracy or someone, Lev maybe, says that they have discovered this World War II ordnance on Waterloo Bridge and that they shut the bridge down.
Yep.
I'm like, What?
Yep.
I mean, that thing's been there for 70 years and they discovered it tonight? I mean, that's impossible. And it wasn't exactly on Waterloo Bridge, but it was close enough that they shut it down. And then, I would go to sleep, and then Laura wakes me up and says, it was just a bad dream, it's okay, they opened it up. And then it was like, everything's fine.
Yeah.
And then Edward, our amazing first, who's just done an incredible job. And Edward came into, oh, there he is back there. Edward came into the room, into my office, and he's just before we're ready to go, like an hour before, and says, well, they've closed it again because the Navy has it on a ship, and while they're moving it underneath the bridge, they got it closed. And it's oh my God, are you kidding me? But luckily they opened it.
And do you know what he said? How much would it take to pay the Royal Navy to get rid of that bomb?
So you didn't have a... It does. People say a lot of things in the heat of the moment. Did you have a backup bridge just in case? We've got loads of them in London.
Backup bridge, we were going to do it out in the yard.
That actually brings up a question, which were from Irma B, who asks, were there any issues that came up during rehearsals that were never ironed out before the shoot?
No, I felt like we ironed out
Yeah?
most everything. There's a lot of things because of the, Nigel convinced me on this single camera thing. And then I thought I convinced him, no, not single camera. And then he convinced me, no, single camera. And we both love Victoria, you know that movie, phenomenal film. And so we were both influenced by it, but it took 3 times for him to convince me. And then that presented a lot of issues, like that first thing you see with out of focus images of Makani and Evie, who are tying the shoes of the, I don't know if you can tell what it was, but so that had to be done underneath the table. So we had to bring the table onto the stage and kind of set it up there.
Okay, yeah.
Just have it happen. So some things we just, had to adapt to suit the single camera.
So not only did you write this and decide to direct it as well, but obviously you appeared in it because who better to play Woody Harrelson than Woody Harrelson? But once you start the movie... I would have cast Owen, actually. Once you start the movie, you are the actor. So was it easy to let go? Was it difficult to let go?
It was very difficult.
Yeah.
I really, because the whole time I've been doing this, I'm just like saying the lines, but I'm looking around like, that's not supposed to be. Oh, the camera shouldn't be there. What's the light? I just can't stop thinking of all the things that are not right, But I'll tell you what was right, and I just want to say a big, big thank you to this cast who has just been incredible. I mean, I can't... I don't know if you can... Yeah, you can see these guys. I just truly love these guys like my own family. And of course, ultimately, I'm so happy that my own family was here and that little Makani, who's right here, was a part of it and played Denny, who's next to her. Yeah. And then, of course, their mother, Laura, is standing right behind them.
Absolutely.
And, So, it's kind of a love letter to Laura. I mean, a weird love letter.
Let's talk about that cast that you assembled. Owen Wilson, Willie Nelson. How did that happen? How did you get these guys together?
Well, I mean, honestly, Owen, what happened on the night, I will say, the person who I started writing into the script was Leo DiCaprio, because he was the one there. It was at China White, this club here. And I just could not figure a way to write it funny. And then I was like, well, Owen kind of, you know, my best buddy, I could write him into this thing, and maybe he'd do it.
Yeah.
And once he said he'd do it, which was really cool. Well, anyway, at some point I was talking to him on the phone, and he says, "I'm here with Willie." And Willie says, "Hey, why don't you write me in?" And I was like, "Willie, would you do it if I wrote you in?" And he goes, "Yeah." So came up with the idea that, you know, basically the angel in the jail cell. And thank God he did it, you know. It's so great.
Amazing. And that actually didn't happen, just to clarify. Willie Nelson did not appear to you in the jail cell. Okay. All right.
And he's been in my dreams before, for sure.
And the rest of the cast, the British cast, where did you find people like Peter Ferdinando and Martin McCann, people like that?
Just incredible luck. I mean, incredible luck to, well, actually, Shaheen Beg, who's, I don't know if she's here, but she, yeah, she's a casting. Oh, she is here. And she's the casting person, and she is wonderful. I mean, like, she is so talented, and I saw her because of Peaky Blinders, which I truly love. And I was like, boy, I would love it if she could do it. And then I, you know, she said, okay. And so she brought in great actors, man. I mean, talk about an embarrassment of riches. And I think I saw Peter over there. Where is Peter? Peter. Okay, come over here, dude. Come over here. Peter Ferdinando. Yeah. This guy's a great actor. Yeah, he is. Come on.
Amazing. Peter.
He needs a little
How are you?
right now.
There you go.
Dude, he's only seconds.
It felt like an eternity.
It felt like an hour, for sure.
Peter, amazing. Yeah, how did it feel, that scene? We saw it seemed fine, but in your head, were you panicking?
Yeah, because the last 2 days I've not slept, and the adrenaline that you get completely consumed by, and then just this freak occurrence, because like, actually, I'm supposed to be in that scene. and I've left the building. I'm like, and I got people going, where are you going? Come back! So I ran in, and I think I managed to hold together, but I probably left you standing there for quite a few.
No, it turned out to be seconds, but
It's fine.
I did think of him as an integral part of that scene, and it was good you came back into it.
Apparently it worked out better without me. So.
We should have written it that way in the beginning.
Yeah, so.
What was tonight like for you?
It was a blast. It was extremely intense, because you've got no time to think. You're just in that moment. You're just going. And it's, but yeah, it's good fun. I love working with Woody as well. He's just an amazing actor and a really talented director too. I just really enjoy working with him. You're brilliant.
Absolutely.
You're brilliant.
And Woody, of course, you were in every single scene pretty much. That's a hell of an acting job tonight. Peter had to play twins. So I think maybe Peter wins in that one. How was the experience of costume changes?
Yeah, I had
all
like
that sort of
20,
stuff?
30 seconds to get changed, and there's always people in the way. I was like, can you get out of the way? I'm trying to get downstairs. But yeah, it's hard work. Yeah, it's good fun, and it's interesting to see it come together. Interesting to see it come together.
How did this come about for you? When did you first hear about it?
And Shaheen got me in to meet Woody, and then like a month or two passed, because I think you went off to shoot a movie. And then Woody actually called me and said, can you come for a read-through tomorrow? And I'm like, what? He went, yeah, come to read tomorrow. I want you to be in the film. And he said to me, what is it with a lot of these British people? He said that in the States, people just turn up. They just like, in here, everyone makes excuses. They're not really. I'm like, what the fuck's wrong with you people? I'm like, well, it's a bit short notice, but I was like, no, fuck it, drop everything. And I was there the next day with all the cast, and it was cool.
So the minute you heard the first word live, it was going to be live. You didn't run a mile in the opposite direction. That excited you?
No, it's scary. But it's a challenge, and I think you're doing theatre, but you're shooting it. So it's that combination, that dangerous cocktail is, it's a challenge. I think if you're too comfortable in your work, then you're not living. You need to be throwing yourself out there and taking risks. Otherwise, what's the point? So I think that's how Woody feels about this. It's just,
yeah, I felt like we took some risks. It was scary. I gotta say, the whole process.
There's just a couple of last things to ask you, Woody. It's good to see you still remember the theme tune to Cheers. That's good. How did that feel singing that?
It felt good. I might have missed a note.
It was no perfect as far as I could tell. And did you enjoy it? This is your first time behind the camera, and you've gone all in, which I love. Did you enjoy it?
I did, but I can say that I would really love to direct a movie and have it just be like, okay, let's take another shot. Let's try the camera over here. You know, like this. I would never do this again, ever. No way. It was just too. It felt like walking on a high wire, right? I mean, Laura just been. Man, she's been so great. She's seen me. She's talked me off the ledge several times. I was freaking out. And, but I thought it turned out pretty good tonight, you know? I thought it turned out pretty good.
Absolutely. And the last thing is, what now? Sleep? Party? Party then sleep? How?
Oh, I'm ready to party.
And on that note, I will let these gentlemen go. Will you please give it up? Nigel Willoughby, Peter Ferdinando, and of course, Woody Harrelson.